Hey guys, what's up? So if you're thinking about picking up a Infiniti, whether it's a 35, 37, I just wanted to kind of go over some things between the two, the differences, and basically kind of maybe help you make your mind or give you some info and some tips on why I chose the 35 over the 37 actually. I'm actually in my G35 right now. So the second gen G35 and the G37 are very similar. So you'd be forgiven if you actually thought it was the same car even, if you thought the 35s were 37s. So the last 2 years of the 35s production, the 2007, 2008 models, they made the G35 with the G37 body style almost, except it's a little bit more aggressive. And basically, the reason I got my Infiniti is because I was with my buddy in his G37, 2012 or 14, I believe. I think 2012. And I liked it so much, I was like, you know what, I gotta get one of these. So I did some research and I started looking around, and then I realized that the 35 is what I really wanted. You'll notice if you try to buy one that the price difference is non-existent. The 35 and the 37 basically sell for the exact same price now used. So you're really not saving any money going for the 35 or the 37. They're basically the same price. They just have some minor differences between them. And the two reasons that I chose the 35 over the 37 are the performance and then the aggressive aesthetics. So starting with the performance, because that's probably what you guys are going off as the most important, is the 35 is a little bit more raw sports car. The 37 is a little bit more luxury. It's a little softer, a little bit nicer on the inside, and a little bit more luxurious. But the 35 is a little bit more primal, like sports car. So the G35 has the 5AT, 5 automatic transmission, very aggressive, super aggressive, shiftable, automatic with paddle shifters, or you can shift it from the column. So basically, I guess they call it manual matics, dual shift automatics, whatever you want to call them. But anyway, they use torque converters, which has a lot of advantages, mostly applying a lot of torque at low RPM. But they got the 5-speed. You go over to the G37 and they put in a 7-speed automatic transmission for the G37 models. Not quite as aggressive, a lot smoother, not as clunky, a lot quieter, but just not as aggressive as the 5-speed. So that's one of the reasons right there. Transmission's more aggressive. The weight of the car. So the 37 weighs in around 3,700 pounds. The 35 weighs in around 3,500 pounds. So just by that one model year difference, you're gaining 200 pounds. That's like having one good-sized adult, one big good-sized adult in your passenger seat. It's going to weigh you down a little bit for a sports car. You don't want to, there's a reason people don't go racing with passengers, because that's 200 pounds of weight reduction just by going with the 35. The 37 does help offset this. It's got a 0.2 liter displacement increase over the 35. That's not much. 3.5 versus 3.7. They both have big VQ family engines. They both have V6s. The VQ35HR in the second gen G35 puts out around 306 horsepower with the ability to pick up 3 horsepower at speeds over 50 miles an hour. The G37 comes in about 330 horsepower. So you're getting about 24 horsepower increase by going with the 37, but your car weighs 200 pounds more. So that's offset. Now the VQ35HR engine is a huge improvement over the VQ35DE engine it was based on. Mainly it adds the entire second intake. Both sides, it has true independent banks on the engine for the exhaust banks. And the HR stands for high revolution because the engine revs to some 7,600 RPMs, which is crazy. Really awesome engine, lots of torque. The G37 engine is the same way. It's a really good engine. It's the VQ37 VHR engine. So basically, engine-wise, you're not seeing much of a difference. They're both good. You might hear people complain about crank positioning sensors for G35 VQ35 HR engines. I'm here to tell you that's really, in the world of actually owning one, that's really not a big deal. Maybe you'll have them go out if you have the car for 100,000 miles. Like, it's nothing to really worry about. I had a friend, hers went out, and she just replaced them. But yeah, so I've had friends with the 37s, 35s. I have a 35. And at the end of the day, I went with the VQ35HR and the G35, the second gen G35, just because it's got that more aggressive stance. That you look at the rear end, it's more aggressive rear bumper, a more aggressive front bumper. Just more pure sports car, and that's what I was really looking for. I went with the sport model because it had everything I wanted in it. But yeah, you can't go wrong. Either car is good. Gas mileage is really terrible on both cars. Honestly, you're not getting much of an improvement with the G37's gas mileage. But yeah, so if you're trying to make up your mind between the two cars, hopefully this helped out a little bit. You're gonna want the more aggressive final drive ratio that's gonna come with the sport models and the stiffer suspension if you're into performance cars. Otherwise, just go for a G37 Journey if you want a luxury car. All right, that about wraps it up for today. I'm gonna go drink my coffee. Catch me next time on Import Life.